I can still remember the first time that we kissed. Always wanna feel like this, feeling light as a feather. I always wanna feel like this. Just another memory I don't wanna forget, and I don't wanna do what's wrong. I don't wanna forget. Can we reverse the fall? Just another memory I don't wanna forget, and I don't wanna do what's wrong. I don't wanna forget. Can we reverse the fall?
Welcome back, guys. It's your girl, La. Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. And today, as you can see from the topic, we will be doing oxtails. It's actually our soul food Monday. Instead of doing it on Sunday, we decide we're going to do Soul Food Sunday on Monday. So we're going to call it Soul Food Monday. Woo! So stay tuned because you're going to be seeing how I prep my and prepare for my regular Sunday cooking. All right, so stay tuned. Let's catch you in the next clip. Welcome back again. So here in this clip, you're gonna see me prepping my oxtails. I've already properly cleaned them, and the next step I'm gonna do is in this bottle I have white distilled vinegar, and so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pour some all over my oxtails. Okay, and then I'm gonna turn my water on. I'm gonna take my bowl over here and I'm gonna just add water to my oxtails. Okay, and so I'm gonna let this soak in the vinegar and water for about a couple hours, and then I'll show you in the next clip how I then take it and prepare season my oxtails. All right, so stay tuned. Catch you in the next clip. All right, so I'm back. So my oxtail has now been soaking for about a little bit over an hour. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take my oxtails. I've already got a strainer in the sink, and so what I'm gonna do is strain off all the excess, all the extra water on it into my strainer. All right, and then I turned on the strainer, and now I'm just gonna rinse them off real good. Get all that extra vinegar off of it that's been soaking. Alright. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna give them a good rinse off real good and clean them again. And I'm gonna dry them properly, and then I'll catch you in the next clip as I get ready to prepare for my seasoning. Stay tuned. Okay, welcome back again. So here in the next clip, you will see I have my clean bowl that I'm going to be mixing my oxtails in. Behind it, you will see that I have some fresh thyme, some chopped up onions, and I have a piece of scotch bonnet pepper. And I also have my Jamaican oxtail and stew season that I'm going to be using to season up my oxtails. And as you can see, all right, you have my oxtails. They've been proper washed, clean, and drained, and they're dry. They look beautiful, beautiful, yes. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna add it now to my mixing bowl. All right, and I'm gonna add, sprinkle some of my oxtail season. Okay. It seems like a lot, but trust me, it's not. And it's not salty at all, the season that I'm using. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna throw my onions in there. I'm gonna throw in my fresh thyme. All right. And I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna grab my gloves, and I'm gonna begin to mix it. Catch you in the next clip. Okay, so I have my gloves. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna rub this all in real good. Smells good. All right, so I'm gonna take it, I'm gonna put a piece of saran wrap over this, and I'm gonna let this sit and marinate for a couple hours before I put it on. And in the meantime, I'm gonna start prepping for my cabbage and collards that I'm gonna be cooking as well. So you'll see that. So I'll be back to you when I'm getting ready to start browning this. Catch you in the next clip. Okay, so I'm back. I just took my oxtails out of the refrigerator. They've been marinating. I actually let them marinate a little bit longer today. So they marinated for almost 3 hours today. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take that off. Oh, that looks so good. And then as you can see in my hand, I also have some extra fresh thyme. And I also have my skillet that's been on preheating. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop those in. All right. I'm gonna let them cook just a little bit, and I'll catch you in the next clip as I get ready to prepare to put my oxtails in the skillet and brown them. All right, so I'm back. My skillet is definitely preheated good. My thyme is already started cooking in the skillet. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab my oxtails and try to, I know I put pepper onions in there, so try if you could. Actually, I'm gonna do it. Put that down. Use my hand, I have the glove. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take and just put them in the skillet. But try to take off like any extra, because you don't want it to burn in the skillet wide. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and transfer them from the bowl to the skillet. And once I get them all in there, I'll be back to you in the next clip. Oh my, the lighting is nice. I love. So as you can see, I'm back. The oxtails are put in and they're cooking very nicely. Yes. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to let them brown properly on one side, and then once they brown, I get ready to turn them. I'll come back to you in the next clip. Stay tuned. All right, so I'm back. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna turn them. And this, what I'm doing right now is only to brown them. And once I brown them on both sides, to the texture or the way that I want them, I'm gonna then add them to my Instant Pot to tenderize them so they can get very tender, and it is going to finish the process as well. So um, I'm going to go ahead and turn over these, and once they get brown and I get ready to transfer them from the skillet over to the Instant Pot, I'll come back to you in the next clip. Stay tuned. All right, so I'm back. As you can see, I've already turned them again. That looks amazing. It has a nice little crust brown on it. So the brown is very good. All right. So in the very next clip that you will see, I'll be getting ready. They should be fully brown, and I will be getting ready to add them to the pot so that they can go ahead and start tenderizing. And I'm going to add my vegetables that I'm going to be using as well in my oxtail. All right, catch you in the next clip. All right, so I'm back. As you can see, my oxtails have been properly brown. I fried them and browned them on top of the stove. So now I've transferred them over to my Instant Pot, and I have some thyme. I have onions I threw in there that I also threw in at the end of before they got just before I took them out. I add a few fresh onion in there so that it can marinate. Can't even talk today. Sorry. So that it can add some flavor as well to my oxtails. In the meantime, I cut up all my fresh veggies that I'm going to be also using. So at this time, what I'm going to do is I'm not going to add all the fresh veggies at this time. I'm only going to add just a few of the fresh onions, some sweet peppers, and I'm not going to use my bunned pepper just yet. All right, I'm going to go ahead and put it in the Instant Pot. And I also have a cup of water. So I'm going to add some water. Can you look in the pot? And I'm adding it to the side. And I'm pretty much going to fill it up just, sorry. Okay. There we go. All right, it's going in there, you see? All right, perfect. So let me turn it around so you guys can see it. So basically I filled up this cup. I used 2 cups of water to add to my oxtails. And so it's just underneath the oxtail because the oxtail is already brown. All I want them to do is tenderize it, so I don't want it to stick or burn. So let me close this and I'll be back in the next clip. All right, so I'm back. So I've put the oxtail in, and so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna turn it on, and it only needs to cook for 15 minutes to tenderize them. I got it on high, and it's gonna start very shortly. So I'm gonna let that go ahead and start cooking, and once it come out, once it get done, we're gonna transfer it over to a regular pot. And at that time, I want to add add the rest of my onions and peppers, my Irish potatoes and carrots to my oxtails. Also, I'm gonna make some gravy for my oxtails as well. All right, catch you in the next clip. All right, we're back. As you can see, I'm about to check out the oxtails. Yes, that looks so good. Get a good look in that pot. So, let's check it. Oh my gosh, yes. Tender, yes. All right, so we're gonna pull this off. I'll be back with you in the next clip. All right, so I have my skillet preheated with some little bit butter in it and some oil. And at this time, I'm gonna add my Scotch bonnet pepper. And I'm pretty much gonna have all my veggies that I'm gonna use to add with my oxtail. So I have some carrots and onions, some scallion onions. I have some sweet red and green bell peppers. And what I'm gonna do, and I have some more thyme in here. So I'm just gonna give that a little stir. That looks good there. And I'm gonna let this cook a few minutes because, as you know, the oxtails are already cooked. So I'm gonna be pretty much just adding it to it. So I'm gonna let this brown just a little bit, and then I'll be back to with you in the next clip. Okay, so I'm back. I'm going ahead and this is my fresh veggies. I got a nice little twist. I look and at this time, my oxtail, I'm going to get ready to add into the pot. But before I do that, I have some brown gravy mix, and I'm going to sprinkle some in here. Use your judgment based on how much gravy you want for your oxtail. That's how much you use. And I'm going to use that much because I have potatoes that's going to also make it thick as well. Alright. Give it a little turn first. And when you do this, it don't make your potatoes don't take as long to cook. That's why you didn't see me cook them with my oxtails when I was prepping my oxtails. Okay? So I'm going to grab a fork and I'm going to transfer my oxtails to my skillet at this time. And most people, I don't do it because if you can look in here, you see all this extra oil. I don't want all of this. So that's why I'm not going to use that. I'm going to make my own gravy. But I'm going to use a little bit of the juice for the flavor. Alright? So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to transfer all my oxtails to my skillet. And once I do that, I'll be back in the next step. Alright, so I have all of my oxtail now in my skillet. And I'm just going to mix it in with my potatoes and carrots. Alright. Yes. And I've already tasted it for my liking of my flavoring. So at this time, if you need to add any more seasoning, you can do that as well. Alright. Alright. So what I'm going to do is, alright, I'll just move that to the side. And I still have the juice over there. But I also have a cup of water, 2 cups of water, which I'm not going to use the whole 2 cups. But right here, where I made a spot, I'm going to start pouring my water in there. Okay. And over here, there's another spot. I'm going to add water over here as well. Alright, you hear it slowing down? That's what I want. So now, see, it's making this juice, this gravy. And I want just a little bit more gravy, so what I'm going to do is my brown gravy mix at this stage. I want it a little bit more brown. And you can also use kitchen bouquet as well. But this is what I do. As you can see, it's getting where I want it. And like I said, the potatoes as well is going to help thicken it up. But right now, it's perfect because I want my potatoes to cook real good in there. Okay. And at this time, I have my fire on medium, and I'm going to turn down 3. It's perfect for my stove, and let it cook a little slow. All right. And I'm going to take my burnt pepper, and I'm just going to take it. I'm not taking it out, but I'm just going to lay it on the top. All right. So there you have it. I'm going to add just a little bit more water. Just like I said, we love gravy. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to grab just like a handful of this because I just want the flavor that's in there. And that's all I'm going to use. I'm going to let this cook down some. And then I'll catch you guys back in the next clip. All right. All right, so you have it. Here's my oxtails. And I want to show you my gravy, so I grabbed a small spoon. And this is good. And it's still thickening up, so it looks good. So. Nice and brown. And like I said, I don't want to move it too much because my oxtails are, as you can see, they're starting to fall apart. So I'm not going to move it too much, but I'm going to go ahead and turn it down because it's done. All right. So you have it. And so all I'm going to do, everybody has their own thing, just for presentation. And also, I just love parsley. I'm going to add some to the top of my pot. Okay. So there you have it. I hope you enjoy watching my oxtail stew. And so I have oxtails, I have carrots, I have Irish potatoes, I have a bunch potato, a bunny pepper. I have scallion onion. I use red and green sweet bell peppers, fresh onion, and my oxtail. All right, so as you can see, I have my cabbage. I'm gonna wash it up. I'm also gonna be using the shredded collard greens that's in the bag. And so I'm going to be doing a mixture with half cabbage and half collards. So I'm going to go ahead and proper wash this and cut it up, and then I'll come back to you in the next clip. All right, so I'm back. As you can see, I have my pot on because I'm going to get ready to prepare my collard greens. So I have it already been preheated, and so I'm going to turn it down just a tad. I have my peppers and onions that I'm going to be using as well. So I'm going to go ahead and throw them in. All right. I'm going to be using Goya ham seasoning. Practice that. I also have some crushed red peppers. I also have some collard green seasoning. I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of that in there. I'm going to give it a little stir. To each his own. Everybody do theirs different, but this is how Lala cooks her collard greens. All right. And at this time, my greens have been properly cleaned, drained off the extra water. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer it from here over to the pot. So I'm going to add all my greens in there. And as you can see from the topic, these going to be collard and cabbage greens. And it's just something about those cabbage. When you mix the cabbage with the collards, it tenderizes the collard greens. All right. And also I have my sugar, and I'm going to be adding not like a tablespoon of sugar. Okay. That takes the bitter out of the collard greens. Okay. And I'm going to give this a little stir. And I'll let you know when I'm going to add the my neck bones. Everybody do theirs different, but I just found this. I just love the outcome of it, and trust me, the flavor is going to get in there. So what I'm going to do is go ahead. I'm going to mix it all up, get all my seasoning that's at the bottom mixed into these greens, and then I'll be back to you in the next clip. All right, so I'm back. I know many of you are probably saying, "Oh, she didn't put any water in her greens. She just threw them in there." Yes, I did. You're correct. I did not add any extra water. Why? Because as you can see in the bottom of the pot, I didn't add no water off of camera. There's some water in here. And this looks amazing already. All right. So I mixed this all up. And in the meantime, I'm going to have these steaming. I'm going to go ahead and put the top on there. And I'm going to go over here to my Instant Pot. As you can see, it's still saying on. And if you can hear the noise, it's actually about to stop. And the reason why, because remember, I use water when I for my smoked neck bones. So I'm going to use some of the juice from the neck bones for the flavoring, along with my neck bones, as I get ready to transform over into with my collard greens. But in the next clip, you're going to see me get ready to prep my cabbage to add to my collard greens, and how I do it. All right, catch you in the next clip. All right, so I'm back. Let's check on these greens. All right. So I have my greens. I have not added my neck bones, but I'm going to add first because my neck bones are going to be done. So I'm going to go ahead and start adding my cabbage. And it's been proper clean, washed and clean. So I'm going to now transfer it over with my collard greens. And if you have never had this before, I promise you, if you need to try this. This is an excellent recipe, and it tastes delicious. I mean, it gives takes the collard greens to another level. And then, like I said before, it makes the collard greens so tender. So, like for many of us growing up, when our parents or grandparents grandmothers used to cook collard greens, it used to take like forever for the collard greens to cook just to get them tender. But for some reason, I just learned and I tried this, and I'm like, I realized that it didn't even take long for my greens to cook, and they was proper clean being cooked. They was well done just by adding cabbage to my collard greens. And I've been cooking them like this ever since, and I mean, it is good. So I had some special requests to show them how I do it. So in this video, you will see just how I prepare and cook my cabbage and collard greens. All right. I'm going to go ahead and mix this all together, and I'll catch you in the next clip. All right, so I'm back. As you can see, I got my cabbage and collards proper mixed together. And so at this point, I took off the lid that I had earlier because I no longer need that. Why? Because I don't want to overcook my cabbage by having the lid on. So I'm going to leave it off for the rest of the process. My greens are about done. So I'm going to let the cabbage cook some more. And I'm going to add my neck bones. Stay tuned. Oh, I'm back. I forgot one ingredient. At this time, I add my Lipton onion soup. Add some too as well. And I don't use the whole pack. I use probably half of the pack. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and give that a mix. Stir. This smells amazing, y'all. All right. So it looks good and it smells amazing. All right. All right. Catch y'all in the next clip. Yes. All right, so I'm back. As you can see, my neck bones have been proper cooked. I'm gonna add them to my cabbage and collard greens. Put this over. I'm gonna go ahead and add these all in, and I'll be back to you in the next clip. All right, so I'm back. As you can see, I have my smoked neck bones are in with my cabbage and my collard greens. And as you can see, this is more than enough of juice that's in the bottom of the pot to finish cooking the cabbage and the collard greens. I've already did a tasting, so they're pretty much done. So I'm just gonna let them cook a little bit slower. But this is how they're coming along. They look so good. It smells good too. All right. I'll catch y'all in the next clip. All right. So here you have it. I have my butter is already on and is heated up. I have some evaporated milk that I'm using for my macaroni and cheese. And this is like a less than half a can that I just poured in there. And at this time, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna stir this up. Okay. And I have some white cheddar cheese. And I'm gonna let that melt. And once that melts, I'll be back with you in the next clip. All right, so I'm back. It's melted down enough what I want for the time being. I'm gonna go ahead at this time. I'm gonna add in some Colby Jack cheese. And all I'm doing is like making like a cream for my macaroni and cheese. I'm gonna add just a little bit more milk to it. And at this time, I'm gonna add pinch of salt and a little bit of black pepper. All right, and I'm gonna give it a stir. All right, once this get all melted, I'll come back in the next clip. All right, so my cheese have melted down much as I wanted to melt down. I didn't want it all to melt because I'm gonna get ready to add my noodles. As you can see, it has a nice little thick sauce. All right, put this over here, and I have my noodles. They have already been clean, cooked. So I'm just gonna add them to the pot, and once I add them, I'll be back to you in the next clip. All right, so I've added my noodles, elbow noodles to my cream, and as you can see, I'm giving it a stir. Yes. Nice. Very cheesy. I don't know if you're getting it good. Let me make sure you get it good. Look at this. Nice and creamy, cheesy. All right. So I'm going to go ahead at this time. I'm going to add the rest of my Kobe Jack cheese to it. All right. Add it, mix it to it. All right, I'll go ahead and mix this all together and I'll catch you in the next clip. Okay, so I'm back. I have it all mixed up. Oh my gosh, this looks such amazing. I love cheesy macaroni. And so as you can see, there's some chunks still in there. But when it bake, oh my gosh, and it go in between it, it's gonna be so good. Okay, so I'm done with that for right now. I'm gonna put that to the side. And as you can see, I have my bowl that I'm gonna be using to my bacon. And I'm gonna spread, I already washed it, so I'm gonna spread because I don't want my macaroni to stick. I don't know about other people. And so I have 1 egg that I put in the bowl, and the rest of the evaporated milk, I'm gonna add it to this. All right, so I've added that to it. All right, and I also have my liquid butter. I'm gonna add it to it because I don't want no dry macaroni. I hate when people have dry macaroni. And I have a fork, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna mix that together. Okay, so I mix the egg up real good. All right, so I'm gonna put that to the side, and at this time I'm gonna take my macaroni and I'm going to transfer it over into my bowl. All right, catch you in the next clip. All right, so I'm back. I've put my macaroni into my baking bowl that I'm gonna be baking my macaroni and cheese in. And here's my egg mixture with my milk. I'm gonna add it to the macaroni all over. All right, and the fork that I use, I'm gonna still use it, and I'm gonna mix it all together because I want it to get all in between my macaroni and cheese. All right, and also I did not cook my noodles all the way. I cooked them just under before they got done, so they're not cooked all the way fully, because I knew that I was going to be baking this macaroni and cheese, so I didn't cook my noodles all the way. So that's another reason why you see the extra milk, carnation milk that I used in the video, is because of that reason, because I wanted to finish cooking my noodles. All right, so at this time, let's look good there. Look good. Now what I'm gonna do, I have some shredded cheese, and I'm gonna take it and sprinkle it all over the macaroni. Okay. All right. And I also have some parsley flakes that I'm going to sprinkle on top of my macaroni. Don't knock it until you try it. All right. There you have it. And I'm gonna get ready to put it in the oven at 350 degrees. Once I get put it in the oven, I'll be back with you in the next clip. Oh my gosh, this macaroni is so cheesy, y'all. Oh my gosh, like it's hot, y'all. Ooh, yes. Look inside of that puppy. Oh my gosh. All right, I'm hungry, so I'm gonna go ahead and dive in this. Catch y'all later.